What's up YouTube? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky and today's video is all about, is it a good time to start a car dealership in 2021? Now I'm going to give you the reasons why I believe it is a good time, some of the factors that play behind it, and some of the things you're going to need to know to make sure you prepare yourself for what's going to happen in 2022. But before we get into the video, if you could do me a huge favor and gently squeeze the like button, it helps me with the YouTube algorithm finding more amazing people like yourselves that enjoy automotive content. Also, if you consider subscribing, I post great stuff like this all the time, and we are posting 3 times a week, so make sure you click the notification bell. Only 10% of you guys are on the notification squad, so please do that. Also, if you want to follow us on Instagram at automotive.life, I post really hilarious stuff over there. We just got done doing some really cool go-kart racing this weekend, got some videos and some other cool stuff up there if you want to check it out. And also, like I said, we can post a lot of stuff there that we can't post here, so definitely stay tuned for that. And without any more shameless plugging, let's get into the video. Now, before I get into the video, I just want to stop and take a moment and say thank you, because our channel, as of I think it was April of this year, we only had about maybe 5,000–6,000 subs. We decided to take it seriously once we broke the 5,000 marker. So we just started posting videos. We went from 5,000 to 10,000 to 15,000, 20, 30. Now we're this close to 40,000 subscribers, which is truly amazing. And like I said, I want to take a moment. Thank you guys so much for watching. We want to make sure that we are a different automotive YouTuber channel. 90% of the YouTubers are just, people like, oh, I bought an exotic car and put an exhaust on it. We don't want to be like that. We want to actually teach you guys something about the automotive industry. Whether you want to open up a rental car company, car dealership, auto repair, body shop, you want to flip cars, or you just want to learn in the automotive business in general, we love to teach people and we love to show you guys. We want to share our passion with you. And I think through this, that's why our channel is growing so quickly. So like I said, thank you guys so much. If you're new to the channel, this is what our channel is all about. So tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell your baby mama, to however you want to tell. But once again, like I said, I truly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. We're probably going to do a big giveaway. I think I might do like another phone call or giveaway for our 40,000 subscribers, so stay tuned. If you have any ideas, put it in the comment section below. We'll definitely get to that, and let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, to the main topic. Is it a good time to start a car dealership in 2021? Yes, it is, because there's so many factors that play into this. I'm going to give you the very first one. Is your competition. Your competition is probably the most, not to sound bad, but most uneducated group that's ever been in the automotive industry. And what I mean by that is people that are not smart. There's a lot of smart people and dealers that I know, but as you start your journey in this automotive business, you're going to meet a lot of dealers that are not in the business. They didn't grow up in the car business. They didn't do that like, oh, what did you do before? I was a banker. I was a plumber. I was HVAC. Like, it's very, very rare for you to meet somebody that's been in the family business. Oh, my grandfather was a dealer. My dad was a dealer. Or, oh yeah, I turned wrenches when I was a kid. Then I worked at a dealership and worked my way up the ranks. So that's what I mean by educated. So a lot of the people that have, various work experiences in the automotive industry are not opening up dealerships. It's a lot of these new people that just get a little bit of money and just want to jump in there because they see us selling, like 1 or 2 cars. Like, hey, look, I bought this car for 10 grand and I turned around and sold it for 15,000. I made $5,000 in a day. So they all think that it's like that every day, and that's what we do, and we're balling out of control. So, a lot of the competition, like I said, is uneducated when it comes to actually purchasing cars, and that's going to be the biggest factor. So we've been talking about this a lot lately, and people don't believe me. I read all your comments, and I'm talking about how the prices and demand are starting to go down. Everybody's like, well, I see the prices, they're high. You must be smoking crack. In my industry or my area, it's high. It is high because you keep overpaying for it. If you go to my dealership right now, or the dealership that we were help manage, we have about 30% of inventory of what we used to. Where a lot of my friends, they're at 100% occupancy. They have their whole lots filled. Now, I'm going to tell you a reason why this is bad. Now, if you drive by a car dealership, and let's say you see 50 cars, the way the flooring lines work, which is our lines of credit when you become a dealership, is every car you see on the lot is a monthly payment. So when you drive by a car dealership, just think in your mind, okay, I see 30 cars on his lot. I see 30 payments of $500 to $1,000. Now I'll let you guys do the math. That is a lot of money monthly that you're going to be paying because none of these dealers have money anymore. Very few dealers actually pay cash for their cars. That's a lot of the old school guys. The old school guys are the ones you're going to drive by and you're only going to see 10, 15 cars on their lot, and they probably own them all because they refuse to overpay for cars. Where a lot of the new age dealers, they don't know any better. They keep, oh, I got a line of credit, I got $1 million, I'm just going to keep buying. It's only a few bucks more. I need inventory. I can't sell, you can't sell at empty shelves. What's happening is they're paying here, the demand is slowly rising. So about a month and a half ago, we had about 300 applications coming through the dealership. This month, for the month of July, we're a little over 60 applications that came in. So from 300 to 60. So what does that tell you? That means that less and less people have money, or the big down payments, which is the stimulus is gone, everything else is gone, PPE money's gone. So the demand is slowly dwindling. Even though the knuckleheads are overpaying at the auction right now, does not mean that the demand is high. So what's happening is a lot of the calls we got last week were, I need to work on my marketing, I need to sell more cars, I can't sell my cars, or I took my cars to the auction and I can't get rid of them. So what's happening right now is a lot of these dealerships, I believe, are going to go out of business between October and October and January of 2022. And the reason why is when you have all these cars and you can't sell them, you take a loss. So let's say he paid $5,000 over book for this car. If everybody else is starting to buy the cars under book, he's going to be $5,000, $6,000 upside down. So he has no choice to either sell it for a loss or take it to the auction and take a massive hit. Now, when you have 30, 40 cars on your lot that are all maxed out, that are all over book, what's going to happen is everyone else is going to start buying them under book or like maybe right at book, a little bit below book, and you're going to be the highest priced one. Well, after you make so many payments on your credit line, the credit line is going to say, hey, you've had this car for 90 days or 120 days. You need to take it back to the auction and get rid of it. So the flooring lines, the lines of credit, are going to force these dealers to take their cars to the auction because they can't sell them. And this happens every time there's like a bad economy or like even tax season. All these dealers overbuy, and then the flooring line basically forces them to sell it. So now they're taking these cars and let's say they're taking $2,000 to $3,000 to $5,000 losses on every single car, and that massive chunk of money just wipes them out, puts them out of business. So that's why I believe it's a good time, because a lot of the people I've talked to, they're so over leveraged in their cars, it's ridiculous. That's why I'd rather have you guys take the time and research and get a good car and buy the right car at the right price instead of overbidding. And don't give me the bullshit of, oh, there's no good deals. We buy them every single day. I don't know if I told you guys yet, but I'm what's called a buyer. My job to help other people buy cars. So dealerships and franchises pay me to go out and buy cars, and then I sell it to them. So if I can do that every week, you can do it every week. There's no excuse. I don't care what market you're in. You got to beat the streets. You could find deals. Don't be a knucklehead. Don't overbid. Now, a lot of these dealers don't educate themselves, and they stop educating themselves once the actual business starts. What I mean by this is, if you're a dealership and you're watching this, when a car rolls through the lane, first thing the dealers do, where's my cell phone at? Let's just say this is my cell phone. They literally run up with their cell phone and they scan it. Now, most dealers have this application from Manheim and this thing called MMR, which is market value. So they scan it, they look at it. If the book says $6,000, they bid $6,000. They don't do any math, they don't do any research, they're just zombie knuckleheads because they see everybody else do it. They scan it, look at it, oh, it says $6,000. And they don't realize that the car is a piece of crap, the options are not there, they don't do the research, and so it's just they keep overbidding for cars. Take the time. Some of the applications we use, it has several different things. You got to take in Kelly Wholesale, Kelly Retail, MMR, market value, how many of them are in your market. There's no point in overpaying for a Ford Fiesta when there's 77 Ford Fiestas just within 5-mile radius of you. So why are you going to overpay for something that's already saturated the market? But these guys don't think about that stuff, and they don't take the time to learn about the software that does. So, and so these guys keep overbidding, keep overbuying, and they just keep overpaying for stuff. And that's why I believe that it's going to lead to their demise. Now, the other reason why I believe is that it's going to be a good time to actually open up a car dealership in 2021 is the simple fact of, we got to think 6 months out. Not right now, not what's going on in the market, it's what's going on in 6 months. Pretty soon, you know, we're gonna be at tax season all over again. So if you guys start with your licensing now and getting set up, you'll be ready and educated and taught by the end of, hopefully the end of February, and you'll be able to kick into that tax season and really boost your business. Because I believe once these dealers go out of business, there's gonna be a lot of demand for dealerships, rental car companies, and everything else because just of the supply. But unfortunately, it's just like that cycle of business. Every time there is an economic downturn, a lot of businesses go out, but if you start at the bottom when the curve is down and you basically get in before it goes back up, you'll be able to successfully embed yourself in the automotive industry and be able to ride that term out for hopefully 10, 15, 20, 30 years, whatever the case is, you know, so this way you can educate yourself, because right now is a crazy time, you know, in the market, and a lot of people opened up in the beginning of the market, and as long as they didn't overbuy, you should be all right. But like I said, this is one of the good times to get in. So one of the other reasons why I believe that it's going to be a good time to open up a used car dealership here in 2021 is because of the financial market. So right now, you know, everybody's got money, everybody's got credit, and things are good. But as we know, once that stimulus money stops, man, it's just going to tank. So I'm just waiting for it to happen. You guys can, you know, argue with me in the comment section below. That's fine. But once it drops, what's going to happen is it's going to be the rebirth of the subprime market. The subprime market is when we made the most money. These are people between like a 400 credit score and like 600 credit scores. This is where pretty much the bulk of your business is going to come from. And this is when they start, Now, when the banks start becoming competitive again, that's going to be your benefit, because as of all of 2022, I believe that's what's going to be floating around, and banks are going to realize that they can't be as picky anymore. They got to put numbers on the books, so they're going to start loosening up their purse strings and start bringing back the subprime. So one of the reasons why I sold my dealership back in the day was all the subprime banks were pulling out because they didn't want to mess with the subprime people, because they were getting enough mid-prime, enough prime customers, so they don't want to mess with that. Well, once this economic downturn turns around, all these people are going to have nowhere to go, and then all the banks are going to be forced to open back up their subprime markets, and it's just going to flood the area, and it's going to be great. We're going to get back to getting real deals with real customers, selling real cars. You know, cars or dealerships that are selling 30 cars are going to do 60 cars again. You know, so it's almost going to be like it was back in the old days. But you know, I believe that with this reinsurgence of the subprime market will actually help a lot of independent dealers more than franchise dealers, because right now, as an independent, you're screwed. The franchise stores are buying almost every single used car, and you know, as an independent dealer, we're only allowed to finance about 130% of Kelly Wholesale Blue Book. Now, dealerships, franchise stores, they're allowed to do 160% of retail book. So, you know, if they buy a $20,000 car at the auction and that's retail, they could still sell it for $27,000, $28,000 and still get back end money from the bank. Where somebody like you or me, we couldn't do that because our banks wouldn't finance that amount. They'd be like, okay, well, you bought it for 20, we're only going to finance 18, so you need to get $5,000 down to cover that and the buy fee, and you're screwed. Where, you know, once this market turns back around, independent stores will be able to become more competitive again, which is great. So definitely stay tuned for that one. Another reason why I believe that it's going to be a good time to become a dealership is a lot of these lines of credit are going to get burned here very shortly. And what happens is every time they get burned by a bunch of dealers, they get really restrictive. So if you have, let's say, a $500,000 line of credit, they're going to take it away or cut it in half. So, you know, all these people that are operating on credit with no money are slowly going to get kicked out of the industry because they can't afford to do business, or they actually have to change their business model and do it the right way and put money down on their cars and do business basically the correct way. So once this happens, it'll actually do a market correction where it'll kill a lot of the dealers that are overpaying for cars. Because I'm not even gonna lie, we have some students where once we got them like a $500,000 line of credit, they were out there buying, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and we're telling them, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, you're gonna max your credit line out. You know, we had one guy where he literally got $500,000 within a week. He already maxed it out. You know, and so we literally told him and his dad, we're like, take these cars back. Sell them, get rid of them, sell them for like a loss. I don't care. You never max out your line. You know, so hopefully they're in the middle of doing that right now. But you know, you never want to max out your lines of credit. You know, the only time you want to do that is maybe around tax season because you know you're gonna have a good sale. But people just get so excited when they get these lines of credit, they just go nuts. They start buying everything in the way. Oh, well, this car, it's only worth $5,000. but I'm going to bid on it because I got 500 grand in the bank, so I bet another 100. It's just another 100. It's another 100. Next thing you know, this $5,000 car is now 7 grand, and it's definitely not worth it. And that's what these knuckleheads are doing. So once these guys go away and the flooring lines chop their credit, it'll be a great time for you to get in, because if you buy, very educated, you buy very slow, you buy the right cars at the right time, then you will see the massive benefits of that and slowly build your cash flow. Where these knuckleheads, they basically make all this money and then they give it to their lines of credit, because if like I said, every month when they don't sell a car, they got to pay those monthly payments, those curtailments, and it never goes away, and it just keeps eating up all the money for your cars. So which we'll get into that one in another video, but that's one of the reasons why I believe that now is a good time. And the last reason why I believe it is a good time to start a car dealership in 2021 is education. Now, when I first opened up, there was no classes, there was no schools, there was nobody online teaching anything. And some states, if you're lucky enough, you actually have a small class which only teaches you about mild state paperwork. They don't teach you about buying cars, selling cars, financing, doing paperwork, none of that stuff. That's why I decided to make this channel and offer our classes and training. So we're here to help educate you guys and train you. So we're one of the big reasons why I honestly believe that it's a good time to get in a dealership, because there's dealers willing to share their knowledge, not try to screw everybody. If you actually hear some of my videos and you hear me talking about other dealers, it's very, very hard to get any type of training. And if you don't believe me, walk up to a car dealer, any car dealership in your area, and say, hey, look, I'm looking to open up a car dealership. What kind of advice can you give me? Guarantee you all of them will say either get the hell out of here, or it's a waste of money, don't do it, or whatever else. And then you can just ask them, okay, well, if it's such a waste of money, why are you still doing it? And they won't have anything to say, because dealers do not share information. So the whole purpose of this channel and my classes is to help educate you guys, to teach you about buying the right cars, how to set up your lines of credit, to how to actually do finance and other things, because I've actually gotten on calls where, this week, where my people didn't pay attention, didn't set their flooring lines up a certain way, and now they're paying an extra, I think, like 15% a year, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're buying like $1 million in car a year, 15% is about another 150K. That's a lot of money. So these guys don't take the time to think about what they're doing. They just keep buying and buying and buying and not paying attention and just going crazy. Another one is finance. When I first started, there was no education. So all these dealers that tell you, oh, I made a bunch of money, I'm rich, and I did all this great stuff and I never lost money. Bullshit. I lost a lot of money, and the reason why I lost a lot of money is because I didn't know any better. So as I learned and educated myself, I wanted to make sure that I can share this with you guys, so this way you don't fall in the same pitfalls, because there is no handbook. You can go up to the DMV, say, can I get the dealership handbook? They'll just laugh at you. They will never tell you the right way to do anything. They'll just tell you when you do it wrong, so this way they can get money from you. You go to your state licensing department, hey, do you have a dealer's license? And you can, handbook, and you can go to every single state in the United States, and they'll all tell you the same thing. Nope, we don't have anything, we can't help you, we don't know what you're talking about, good luck, here's your license, see you later. And now you're left to fend for yourself. So now that we're actually teaching everybody about this stuff, at least you have somebody to talk to, somebody that'll help you, And one of the things that we got off a conference call about 2 weeks ago is we had a dealer in Texas that we're going to set up for training, and he didn't want to do it. He's like, well, I just want to get some basic information. I'm going to try to do it myself, which is fine. I tell everybody, always try it yourself, see if you can save some money. So he got open and he didn't take any of the training for actual finance. And I remember him calling me 2-3 times saying, how do I do this? How do I do this? And I'm like, just do the training. It's not that hard. You can do it yourself. You don't want to hire a finance manager. Well, he didn't want to mess with it, so he hired a finance manager. The finance manager came in, I'm going to sell a bunch of cars. I'm going to make you a bunch of money. I want a $10,000 a month salary. The guy was so desperate because he wasn't selling cars, he said yes. First month, he said the guy sold 60 cars. He thought that he finally hit the gravy train. He had a right guy for the right thing. So anyways, we go on about 6 months, and what's happening is all the buybacks are starting to come back. What buybacks are is every time you sell a deal and you sell a car, you're married to that car depending on how many months of recourse the dealer or the finance manager signs. So let's say you have bad credit and I want to sell you this car and I want to sell it to you for $20,000. If you have really bad credit, the bank's going to look at me and say, you know what, we don't really like this customer, we don't like this car, we're going to charge you $5,000 to make the deal. Well, I can say, hey, you know what is if I take 3 months of recourse? Will you lower that $5,000 fee to a $1,000 fee? Some banks will say, you know what, yeah, we'll take the risk. If you're in it with us, we'll take the risk. So then he signs it. So now he sent that car down the road. The dealership makes its money. He makes his money. The owner thinks everything is great. But now that car can come back for the next 90 days. If the customer misses any of those 3 payments, he has to write a check for $20,000 for that car. He didn't understand that. So all of a sudden, the bank knocks on his door and he's like, hey, we need a check. We need a check. The finance manager's been pushing him off, saying, oh, there's a buyback here. We have to give him money, blah, blah, blah. Well, he didn't educate himself. And when that happened, they literally showed up. We need $120,000 tomorrow or we're shutting you down. We're cutting you off. And we're going to tell every bank in Texas that you're a piece of crap and you don't pay your bills. So he called me and like, what do I do? What do I do? I was like, write a check. You got to pay him. Oh, I don't have the money. I was like, do you own a house? He's like, yes, I do. I was like, call your banker, get a line of credit against your house and pay it. Well, that's not fair. I'm going to sue my guy. I'm going to sue my employee. I was like, you can't. You gave him rights. Once you sign him up as a finance manager, and I'm sure they had to sign a few pieces of paper, you gave him rights to actually write up those deals. You're screwed. You didn't pay attention. You didn't educate yourself. You didn't take the time to learn the business. You just jumped in and wanted to make a bunch of money. So now he has a $120,000 headache that he has to deal with. And the downfall is a lot of those cars he didn't get back. Because usually when you get a buyback, the banks will say, okay, well, here's the car back and give us our check. And at least you can turn around and sell it or something. You know, half of the cars that he had to pay back, he didn't get them back. So he lost all that money, just poof, gone. So educating yourself is probably the biggest key. You know, if you want to do a quick consulting call, give us a call. My email's down below. It's lucky@automotive.life. It's a 1-hour consulting call. There is a fee for it. We don't do it for free. I don't know why people keep saying there's free calls. You know, it's very hard for me to take time out of my day to talk to you guys. The next thing is our classes. We do all kinds of online classes. Anything you want to do. Once we actually set up our place here, we're going to have training in person. So if you guys want to fly down, we can do that. But I want to thank you guys so much again for watching the channel. I truly appreciate it. If you felt like you learned anything, gently squeeze the like button. Also, if you consider subscribing, we post great stuff like this all the time. And like I said, click the notification bell because we are posting 3 times a week. Once again, follow us on Instagram, automotive.life, and we'll see you next video.